All right, welcome back. My name is Amar, and this is
Kyle Lynch with Clover Hill CPA.
and we're talking about the research and development tax credit, right? Today, and this is a good topic to talk about because there are a lot of people out there through COVID have left their jobs, have retired early, and they're starting their second act and they're starting a new business and they're really in that kind of startup mode. And so we wanted to spend some time to talk about this tax credit because it will apply to a lot of people that are taking a second career or second act, but doing it in a way that they're in control, like in a small business. And so, Kyle, what is this tax credit? Let's just start with what is it? Like, if you're explaining it to
An
somebody
alien?
that's never heard of it.
Sure. Yeah. So it's the Research and Development Tax Credit, and it's been on the books now for about, well, I think 10 to 12 years now. And yeah, it's designed, as it sounds. It's to incentivize you to, build new products or implement new processes. This is another aspect that a lot of people can qualify for. And so if you have what are called qualified activities that qualify for this research and development tax credit, the tax savings can be pretty substantial. And I think a lot of people just miss it. I think a lot of people just either don't know about it or get overwhelmed with the tax jargon and utilizing a CPA or a professional tax professional like myself. You can take advantage and get a tax credit for expenses that you're already paying.
So what qualifies? Let's step back and just kind of give some examples of what things would qualify for R&D credit.
Yeah, so it's a little bit nuanced, but really high level. It's for building new products and then implementing new processes. Those are kind of the two qualified activities. And once you kind of identify the activities that qualify, you can allocate any wages or hours spent on the research and development activity, and any direct cost, any direct materials or costs associated with the qualified activity.
That's great. So, and let's define what a credit is. This is not a deduction, right? Like this is a dollar for dollar almost credit, right? If you or how's it calculated? I guess is the bigger question to get to that credit amount.
Yeah, so you identify the activity, you allocate the wages and direct expenses, and you come up with the amount that can be the research and development tax credit. And from there, it's a non-refundable tax credit. So you have to have taxable income to get a current year tax benefit. But let's say you are, a startup company building a new process or building a new product, and you're not quite profitable. The research and development tax credit carries forward. I believe it's for 5 years, and you can use it whenever you do become profitable and have taxable income to offset. And so if you're a corporation, it would go on your corporate tax return. If it's a flow-through investment or a partnership, it would come through on a K-1, and then you can also take it on a Schedule C if you're a sole proprietor.
Yeah, I think this is missed by a lot of CPAs, because it's such a like. I'm guessing there's a separate form that you have to do. So can I do this if we're in 2022 today? Can I do this for 2021, or I already lost that opportunity because it's last year?
No, as long as you have the qualified activity with applicable expenses, you can file it on your 2021 tax return if you haven't filed yet. Or you can always obviously amend if you missed it and are already filed. But yeah, it goes on a form. It's called a Form 6765, and there's about, I'm looking at it right now, there's 44 lines on there. And so it's a little bit overwhelming when you look at it, but if you kind of read the instructions and break it down, it's actually fairly straightforward. But yeah, I think, the biggest hurdle is really just, finding that qualified activity and allocating the right expenses to it.
Oh, that's good. And is this a thing that you just do 1 year, or is it like you can repeat it multiple years, or how does it work? Because like in my mind, if I'm tired of work and I'm retiring, or I've already retired and now I'm starting this new business that's more aligned with my passions and what I want to do, um, there's a long curve there, right? To developing a product or developing a process. It's probably multiple years, right?
Yeah, and so you can take it as many years as you can. Your only limitation is that it's a non-refundable tax credit, so you have to have taxable income. But yeah, I think another thing that trips a lot of people up, it doesn't have to be a revolutionary product or a revolutionary process. It just has to be new to you and new to the company, and something that you allocate, resources towards. Specifically, wages is kind of the number one expense that you can allocate for the research and development tax credit. So, typically, we just kind of track hours, right? They spent 300 hours on this specific new process this year, and they worked 2,000 hours this year. 300 divided by 2,000 times their wages, and that's what's the qualified expenditures.
Cool.
So,
cool.
But yeah, I think it's a great tool, and I think a lot more people qualify than you would initially anticipate. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a brand new biomedical super advanced process or anything like that.
I mean, that's what a lot of people think when they hear R&D. They're thinking like rocket ships or like biochemical lab type stuff, like cutting edge stuff. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, no, it's really designed for a lot of small business owners, to take advantage of, and like I said, to build new products and processes. So
cool. So for our viewers out there, I think we should say that if you have any comments or questions, please put them below. Kyle and myself do a really reasonably good job of answering most of the questions and comments in there. Again, we want to keep this a dialogue. So if you have ideas for other videos or anything else that we can talk about that relates to retirement planning or being in that second career or second business, if you will, stage of life, then we'll definitely take your suggestions. And if you have questions specifically to the R&D tax credit, feel free to reach out to Kyle directly to maybe get some guidance around that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to have that conversation. And yeah, the more engagement we have on these videos, the better. So
yeah,
please feel free
it helps the YouTube algorithm help other people find us, which is why it's important.
That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, Kyle. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks again. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, everybody.